Top of the morning, ladies. My name is Chester. Welcome back to part 2 of What If Hizuku Was the Goddess Dragon. So, in the last part, I went over how the Zuko was born as and all that stuff. So, and no one actually knows, but you, as the audience, do know what is going on. Basically, in the last part, I was trying to make it look like a Beauty and a Beast one, mixed with and the Zorber Erman, or so yeah. So he's or so Zuko, oh, or actually past, present, future monster can speak normally, but he after he gave his power to Zuko, then he died. It's like gave his life energy to him. Then we got Blondie, and he's the monster of chaos thing, or dragon of chaos. And he's also a son of the most richest thing. But he's a good friend with Zuko Midoriya, like best friends. And we got Zuko Midoriya is the dragon of, or no, his name like Zuko Midoriya, but his monster name is Multiverse Destroyer Dragon, or Multiverse Dragon. So each he can access as the multiverse by seeing into himself or into his own mind. So yeah, or he does a lot of things. So, and the fourth Earth most, or actually, Zuko is the first powerfulest one, followed by the other two, but the third one is the very last one. So, and I am not going to tell you about him. He's so where we left off was there was a there was a new transfer student, like a new student that came rolling in, and it was Dragon of Illusions, or so Yeah, him. And he, or between, he's a like literal, like a strongest one, but not like Zuko kind. As he's the like a son to a eh, I forget his name. Or he's actually the son to her, actually. And so both, so now you have met 4 dragons. So let's continue. So they were like, huh, as they start training with this new kid, and Ed, like, yeah, you see him as looks like the adult one, but turns out he was just a like child, you know, as yeah. So he decides, okay. So they're like being all friends, and so yeah, and they, of course, when they were walking, he asked Zuko if you had to choose between me or him, who would you choose? What do you think? I always choose you then. Eh? Eh? As no matter what. Huh. Yeah, I agree. So, as, yeah. So, and where is she? Where is she? So, Ochako runs up to Zuko and like gives him a hug as she says this. There you are, sweet pea. As she totally expressed her feelings. Or actually had to part out. So they were like, huh, okay. So, and I'm skipping the sports festival because that might be interesting, but at the same time, it's gonna be super weird. Like how weird, you may ask? Like a Kamehameha kind of weird. So Zuko was how much time? Or so they both like went cavalry battle, and then of course Zuko, or actually Zumi and Ochako were like trying to be like running to try to catch up with as Mina and Ochako asked Zumi, "Are they always like this, competitively?" As long as I could remember, yes. As, yeah. So, as Bunny Girl shows up at there, like she couldn't believe that between those two people, they're so competitive. Yeah, as Eraserhead agrees. As they as Zuko was literally running on a tightrope. Missed again. As he is also dodging the prank bombs things. As he says, huh, nothing surprises you anymore, right? As Zuko got first place. So, yeah. As Nezu finds this interesting, between both of them being so competitive, it's like Endeavor and All Might. As Endeavor saw, like, both of them being so competitive, as he says in his head, it's like me and All Might. So, yeah. So, now I'm skipping the rest. And, yeah. Zuko kept his, like, dragon, or his beast form, a secret. So, yeah, he goes in to, and so they both were like, huh, well, because he was, yeah, so, or Choco had deep feelings for Zuko, but he, like, mind controlled her mind to try to, because he thinks in his head of, if I control old Ochako to leave Deku, she'll be all mine. And the image that I'll show you would be like this. This image of Deku being like got left. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, so he did then. Or Zuko was like, huh. And he doesn't know this for 3 or 4 days. Until like as he's like And as Chaco, is, of course, so they were like, okay. Because, so, until, like, between, or actually, but when he examined Zuko, really up close thing, like combat, he could see that, as he smiles, because the Zuko knows that, or he knows Zuko's monster form is can't be taken lightly. So Baku, so they're like, okay. And after all that, after, like, actually, funny part, er, the, I forget her name, Mina was like, now this is my chance to hook up with Zuko. And she literally, when she asked Zuko, so, yeah, the two spectrums is happening. So, one of them was, hold on, give me a moment. Oh, I forget his name. So, on one hand, he wants to make Zuko feel bad, like make him sad that the Chaco is left him for a better man, and and on the other is Mina, that he, or of course she wants him to be her boyfriend. She wants Zuko to be her boyfriend, all by herself. So basically, yeah, as us audience, we don't say, or we don't do that. So yeah. And of course, Zuko didn't realize that Mina was flirting with him. And of course, Chaco could go. Echo that got mind controlled by him, that to, like, try to separate. So she basically did, and so Zuko was brokenhearted. And yeah, so that's how far Zuko, or they had to push it to. So, yeah. Next, like when they, during the camp arc thing, Zuko was like, okay. As, yeah. So, someone like him, Zuko noticed that Ochako was being weird. So, yeah. So, Zumi noticed that Zuko, or that he is mind controlling Ochako to say those things and do all those things. But Zuko was like, as he like does that stuff, and he went in first before, and he does like walk around the entire area, as then he sees Koda getting ambushed by Musclier, as Zuko ran up to him, grabs him, as he says, well, as Zuko was not in a happy mood because Baku, because of his one of the people doesn't talk to him about anything, and like then it became friend, or so he was mostly mad. So he activated his full power, or and like he tells, or he tells Koda to run. Don't look back. As Koda runs right past Musclier, and Zuko, who has transformed into the most. Here it comes. Here, what we all were waiting for. You think that it was like gonna be like Kamehameha too, but no, it's something more. Just like what the actual like build up to was to this thing right here with the I was trying to draw like the heads in, like the one with blue eyes and with a red pube thing and the red hair. That's supposed to be like the alternate, like Zuko, or no, alternate Toga, and the blue was supposed to be like Ochako, covering his eyes. as he could see through their eyes of different colors. And he, as with all these like distorted faces looking at the opponent, it is scary, yes. He has the monsters part down so fast that even like, so he freaked the muscular out. Like, basically, he went from, or so muscular went from being like, oh, I'm gonna be beating you up, kid, to, oh man, I peed myself so bad. And as he's trying to beg to him about he'll turn himself in and thing, because how scary it is, as he literally grabs like him, lifts him up, and roars at him. And he roars so, or his roar is so loud that everyone is afraid of what will, because there's a story of there was this most powerful, dangerous dragon of the other four. It was the multiverse dragon or monster. Some say it's so scary that even whoever hears it goes into insanity. Nanti. As like Mina as like is scared, as only person that like really enjoys this like sound of him roaring is this man. And the Esterosa or whatever. So, yeah. So, both of them, because and before, I forgot to mention in the last part, or in the first part, he actually told Zuko before his death, his words were, so long, brother. Because all four dragons were actually siblings. Each one ruled like a continent of like the entire world. So, yeah. As he says, finally, he's out. As Spitter and, or actually actually he says, who is out? Out. Well, my brother. See, you heard about these stories of there's the four most powerfulest monsters that could destroy the entire. So, sorry about that. And so, as Rosa says, and the one that you're hearing his roar is the most dangerous one of them all, of all of us. As everyone, including like Redhead and Momo and the Big Hands girl, when they heard that the most dangerous one, as Zuko, or actually not Zuko, Esterosa, uh, um, says, about time. So as Ochako couldn't remember, so he unleashed her. As Ochako was like, what just happened? As he tells her that, well, a plan worked. In order to release the beast, he really did care about you, Ochako, Raka. So if I took control of you, like your mind, to let him like cut loose on his as muscular Atter is saying, please do not. As Ochako could hear near the Oraka's, or Ochako could hear. So she ends up starts to run towards it, and she sees this creature. Sure. As yeah, that creature was he roars right at it. As Ochako steps in, as she says, no, listen to me. As Zuko looks at her, and he remembers her left him for Esterosa, as he talks normally. Ochako, why did you have to leave me? As Ochako does not even understand. But she just now remembered what Esterosa told her, that my plan was flawless. See, I mind controlled you to make you leave Zuko behind, like abandon him. As Ochako tells Zuko that he's just a crack job. So, but no matter, as she says, no matter, to him, as she runs up to him, grabs one of the arms, and she says, as she's like tearing them, as she says this: I always will be. This is what Ochako is saying. She says, I'll always be with you at all times. Because, of course, Ochako, who knows that she has this big crush on him since they met at the like USJ, or no, at the sports fest, or no, when I'm at UA exam. As he looks at her, and instead of like eating her or like ripping her to shreds, he transformed back into his human-like state, as he gave her a hug and kissed her right on the lips. As he always accepted you and treats you as a person, not as a tool. Okay? As, of course, Muscular was like, thank goodness. As, man, turn yourself in, Muscular. As Muscular says, okay. As he did. And so, yeah. Next, they went and found Esterosa. As you know what he did? As Ochako is trying to hold him back from punching him. Esterosa tells him that, looks like my brother has fully convert out of you. Slime. As he went full speed and like punched Esterosa right in the like stomach area, sent him flying. So as Mina couldn't believe that between Ochako and him, as he, of course, someone else fell in love with her was actually not the purple head, or not purple hair one, but sometimes I see him. So, yeah. The redhead, this guy. So, he has a crush on her. So, yeah. So, Zuko's body or actually, so now the villains thing as like heroes, or like All Might versus All for One. All Might, yeah, was down but not out. As right before All for One used a laser attack, Zuko stepped in real fast and he absorbed that attack. Act like it was nothing. Like, huh, well, looks like you need to learn. As Zuko fully activated his rage one, as everyone knows how powerful he really gets. So when they saw him transformed into the legendary dragon monster looking thing, he says, "Fight me." As he literally killed All for One, like straight up killed him, ate his heart, and like ate the every part of him. And his beam thing, when he opens his jaw, he does like has the same blue light as the Kamehameha thing. As but his sound of doing it is beep. Yeah. So yeah, he kind of has that, like, when he appears, he sends like chills through everyone that was like watching. As he turns around, he morphs back into a human, and but they notice that something is weird about his body structure, as he looked like him. Um, yeah. So, but he has like, all right, all mate. But he, as Zuko looked like that, but without a knife, as he says, "Huh. Well, that was fun." And as, yeah, because All Might, when All Might saw the most dangerous one of all the creatures that he has faced in the past, was nothing compared to Zuko's. So, yeah. As the very next day, Ochako, Oko's parents, that saw what Zuko looked like, so, and but some random like explosion happened at the their like his like business thing, and he of course died, but before his death he he gave his life energy to Zuko Midoriya, and he faded away as he so now he has the 3 out of or no 3 out of 4, as he says, you know what, this is the actually is the end of me, so uh, giving you my life energy, as he gave his life energy to Zuko, and it fused into his body as his body transformed into this kind of the entire universe. So yeah, he looks around as he like trying to like be calm, as of course Ochako's his mother and her father says to Ochako that if you want to date that creature or get married to that creature, go right ahead. As Ochako's like happy, so she runs up to him and tells him that, are you still in there? First of all. Number two, the as she confesses to him about him both of them getting married. As he's okay with that. His sister or no, his mother and his father says, go right ahead, Zuko. And so they both got married and had 4 more kids. As plus, because all 4, when Zuko activated his, when he absorbed the 4th one, or actually Zuko did say, I'm skipping the overhaul fight, so it just happened, and yeah. So Zuko was wearing a like basically he, because his final form, like his like ultimate form, he can now whoever, or he can make, or he's actually makes Ochako stay the same. She never ages, she never dies. So basically, yeah. So Ochako is now the same age as her, like same height, but she's stopped right there, and she never like grew older or dies or so yeah. And her or their kids knew Kamehameha and like all that stuff. And plus, that's actually the one that I used to about Zuko. Well, that's his daughter, actually. So, yeah. So he has two kids with them. Or actually, yeah, two kids. And, yeah. So, please leave a like, share, subscribe.